talks between the two foreign secretaries scheduled for 25th August 2014 in Islamabad. The reason for this regretful second cancellation, if it happens, would be the same. Why did Pakistan High Commission invite 3 or 4 leaders from the Indian occupied Kashmir to a reception organized in New Delhi on 23rd August to enable me to meet a cross-section of Indian political and business leaders? I expect that global think tanks and foreign policy experts will carefully ponder over this important question. Is it conceivable that a country like India will cancel the first ministerial interaction between the two countries since Mr. Modi's takeover on such flimsy grounds, especially when the main purpose of the meeting was to reduce tensions on the line of control and restore trust by addressing each other's concern regarding terrorist activities sitting across a table rather than through the media. Even more ironic is their alibi that Pakistan was trying to distort the agenda agreed at UFA and was imposing new conditions for the talks. Nothing could be further from the truth. The 3-point agenda proposed by Pakistan was fully in line with the UFA statement. The first point called for discussion on all issues related to terrorism. The second point calls for reviewing progress on actual decisions made in UFA, that is prompt release of fishermen, better arrangement for religious tourism, and activation of mechanism for restoring peace across the LOC and the working boundary. The third point was intended to explore the modalities for discussion on all outstanding issues, including Kashmir, Sir Creek and Siachen. India seems reluctant to recognize the significance of the most important sentence in the UFA statement, and I quote, "India and Pakistan have a collective responsibility to ensure peace and promote development. To do so, they are prepared to discuss all outstanding issues." As you can readily see, the word K is very much present in this sentence because everyone knows that the most important outstanding issue between the two countries is the future of Jammu and Kashmir in accordance with the UN resolution. The statement of the official spokesman of the Indian External Affairs Ministry that Pakistan has imposed new conditions totally ignores the last sentence of the note handed over to the Indian High Commission on 21st August that Pakistan is ready to hold NSA talks without any preconditions. In fact, it was India which introduced a new condition through its quote-unquote advice that Pakistan could not meet Hurriyat leaders, thus assuming the right to determine the guest list for the High Commissioner's reception. The most hilarious part of the statement of the official spokesman of the External Affairs Ministry is the sentence, "The people of both countries can legitimately ask today, what is the force that compels Pakistan to disregard the agreements reached by the two elected leaders and sabotage their implementation?" This wishful narrative in this statement wants everyone to believe that only the Pakistan military establishment is pushing the agenda towards the Kashmir issue. It is surprising that the Indian Foreign Policy establishment, with all its expertise, has not recognized the stark reality that in Pakistan not only the political leadership but the entire nation is fully committed to provide political, moral and diplomatic support to the Kashmiris struggling for their right of self-determination. As always, India has been conducting a part of its diplomacy through the Indian media. A major theme being played up in the Indian media is that Pakistan was apprehensive of the dossiers Mr. Doval was preparing for presentation to me during the NSA talks, and was therefore Pakistan was looking for an exit. In fact, I will also be carrying 3 dossiers on RAW's involvement in promoting terrorism in Pakistan. And these are the dossiers which were all sort of ready to be presented to them, RAW's involvement in Pakistan. So if I do not get this opportunity on 24th August to present these dossiers, I hope I'll get a chance to hand them over to Mr. Doval in New York next month if he accompanies the Prime Minister Modi for the UN General Assembly. After handing over these dossiers to Mr. Doval, I can then share them with the UN Secretary General. Meanwhile, I only hope and urge Mr. Modi to ponder over what I call the most important part of the UFA statement, that India and Pakistan have a collective responsibility to ensure peace and promote development. To do so, they are prepared to discuss all outstanding issues and think of ways and means of initiating serious dialogue on all these outstanding issues. On my part, I'm still prepared to go to New Delhi for NSA talks without any preconditions. That concludes my statement. The floor is now open for questions.
We will have one question from this side and one from this side. We'll start with Mr. Mateen Haider. Please introduce yourself and ask one question.
Thank you, Mr. Advisor. I am here, this side, on your left side. Yes. Right side, sorry. Yes, two parts question. Basically, now, where basically the visit stands now. As you said, you are ready and willing to go there. So, I mean, will visit take place tomorrow, number one? And number two, what are your comments about the Indian agenda? Indians have shared their agenda with you. Do you accept their agenda points or do you reject them? Thank you.
You see, as far as I'm concerned, we are still ready to go without any precondition. So it is now for India to indicate. The second part, of course, as I mentioned, what they call their agenda is already there. The first item is discussion on all terrorism-related issues. But then the second part, which includes LOC, boundary and tensions, that is not terrorism, but isn't this an important item which UFA had agreed that they will have a discussion on how to bring down tension? UFA had also said both sides agreed to discuss all outstanding issues. So at least we can discuss the modalities of how we're going to address all those issues. So our agenda that we have prepared is totally in line with the UFA statement and is not a deviation at all.
Mr. Farhan Bukhari.
Thank you, sir. Farhan Bukhari, Financial Times. Sir, you've said that you're still willing to go to Delhi in spite of the circumstances, but given the overall acrimony which has built up over the many months, conditions on the line of control, verbal statements coming from India, and of course now Indian objections to what is largely seen as a symbolic gesture in Pakistan, your planned meeting with Hurriyat leaders in Delhi. Given this environment, isn't this going to be an exercise in complete futility? Because nothing, you can't expect a major breakthrough to come out of this, or do you have expectations which are different from what we see in public? Thank you.
We never, as I said in one of my earlier press conferences, we never expected this meeting to lead to any breakthroughs. The purpose was, as a minimum, to reduce tensions, which means revive or strengthen the mechanisms for restoring tranquility on the line of control, to address each other's concern, whether it's terrorism, other related issues, so that the media hype that keeps coming on this issue can be addressed, and therefore some mechanism that if an incident takes place and finger pointing starts, can we address them by sharing evidence and then trying to fix responsibility, and also then modalities of how do you go further. So it was a minimum agenda which is necessary. So right now, if the cancellation of the visit leads to increased tension, that is not desirable. So despite this atmosphere, if we achieve this minimum objective of reducing tensions and setting up into motion mechanisms that hopefully will address these issues, then it may still be worthwhile.
Mr. Pracha.
Thank you, sir. Today we heard that Shabir Shah is detained in New Delhi and he will not be released, hopefully, until your visit is over. What if all the APHC leaders who are supposed to be there in Pakistani High Commission, they are detained by India, they are arrested, and the Indian government does not allow them to call on Your Excellency or attend the reception, what will be the option with Pakistan? And secondly, sir, last night we had a press release from the Foreign Office, and if I may quote the sentence, this is the second time that India has chosen to go back on the decision. If they have already went back, then why we are sitting here?
You see, first of all, we are very disturbed about the reports of arresting the Hurriyat leaders because this is a violation of their fundamental rights. The second part of your question, that why are we sitting here, they have said, as I mentioned in my statement, advice, please don't meet them, but then and call them preconditions, which are not. So as far as we are concerned, they have not formally cancelled the talks. So we will go and make the best of it. But if the Indian External Affairs Minister is holding a press conference this afternoon, so we'll see what comes out of it. Because as far as we are concerned, we are still ready to hold the talks in accordance with the agenda that we propose, but also on the basis of an open agenda. We can raise whatever issues we can and discuss it.
Thank you, sir. This is Shahid Rana from Airwag TV. Sir, there is a confusion between the statements that meeting with the Hurriyat leaders was not put in the agenda, which later was made from the two sides. Though it was discussed in the OFA, but in the agenda it was not decided. So do you think you provided the way to go back from the talks to India? It was your failure that you didn't discuss it in the agenda? Because India claimed that it was not in the agenda basically, though there were many things.
It is strange that they would expect that the discussion of meeting with Hurriyat will become part of the agenda. This is not a substantial item. When I go to India, I meet many leaders, political leaders. When they come, they meet different opposition and other leaders. And in this case, since last 15, 20 years, every time leaders went to India, they met the Hurriyat leaders. So the question is, this is not something these are normal activities that have been taken in the past, and one doesn't put such items on the agenda. But the fact that they're linking this Hurriyat, that the Kashmir was not on the agenda, that is an incorrect assumption. As I said in my statement, the word K is very much there in that statement because we agreed on discussing all outstanding issues, and who doesn't know that what is the most important outstanding issue? It is Kashmir. So I think indirectly that is also there.
جی ایڈوائزر صاحب سہیل چودھری ایڈیٹر روزنامہ پاکستان. میرا یہ سوال ہے کہ اوفا جب معاہدہ ہوا تھا تو اس وقت میں ایسا لگتا ہے کہ پرسیپشن گیپ تھا اس وقت, تو بہت سے لوگوں کی ریزرویشن تھی اس وقت بھی, بالکل کلیئرٹی نہیں تھی کہ کشمیر اس پہ بات ہوئی ہے نہیں ہوئی ہے. تو بعد میں وضاحتیں آتی رہیں کہ جی تمام آؤٹ اسٹینڈنگ ایشوز پر بات ہوگی جس میں کشمیر جو ہے وہ شامل سمجھا جا رہا ہے. ایسا لگتا ہے کہ پرسیپشن گیپ تھا اوفا میں, تو پراپرلی جیسے ہوم ورک نہیں کیا گیا. اسی طرح جب افطار پارٹی کو پوسٹ پون کیا گیا تو کیا ہم نے ایک ٹرینڈ سیٹ کیا انڈیا کے لیے کہ ہم آئندہ بھی اس طرح کے کام کریں گے؟ تو واز اٹ مسٹیک, اور کیا پراپرلی ہوم ورک نہیں تھا, اور یہ پرسیپشن گیپ کیوں تھا اوفا کے اوپر کہ ہم اس کو اور طرح سے انٹرپریٹ کر رہے ہیں اور انڈیا اور طرح سے انٹرپریٹ کر رہا ہے؟
ظاہر ہے جی, ہمارا تو کلیئر تھا کہ آل آؤٹ اسٹینڈنگ ایشوز کہہ دیا تو کشمیر شامل ہے. اب انڈیا اس کو انٹرپریٹ کر رہا ہے, چونکہ انکلوڈنگ JNK نہیں لکھا تو اس کا مطلب ہے کہ کوئی پالیسی میں تبدیلی آئی ہے. لیکن جیسے میں نے اپنی اسٹیٹمنٹ میں کہا کہ اس میں کوئی بات آپ میرے خیال ہے جتنے لوگ یہاں بیٹھے ہیں ان سے پوچھ لیں کہ کون سا سب سے آؤٹ اسٹینڈنگ ایشو امپورٹنٹ ہے. ایوری بڈی سے اٹ از کشمیر. تو اس میں میرا تو خیال ہے ہماری طرف سے انڈیا اب کوشش کر رہا ہے اس کو ریسٹرکٹ کرنے کی اور اس کو مس انٹرپریٹ کرنے کی.
We expect everyone to observe discipline.
Thank you very much. Shabbir Wagra from PTV World. Sir, if this visit goes on and there is you and your counterpart, Indian counterpart, sitting on the negotiation table and they refuse to talk on Kashmir, then what would be your point of view? Would you walk out, or you will talk on terrorism only?
دیکھیں نا, جو ہمارا ایجنڈا تھا وہ یہ نہیں تھا کہ اس میٹنگ میں کشمیر پہ سبسٹینشیل نیگوسیشن, اٹس اے ویری کمپلیکس ایشو. ہم نے کہا تھا ماڈیلٹیز کیونکہ اٹس این امپورٹنٹ ایشو فار ڈسکسنگ آل آؤٹ اسٹینڈنگ ایشوز. جس طرح پہلے کمپوزٹ ڈائلاگ میں ہوا تھا, مختلف گروپ بنے تھے مختلف چیزوں کے لیے. سیکورٹی آن کشمیر واز انڈر دا فارن سیکرٹری لیول, سر کریک اینڈ سیاچین واز انڈر ادر موڈیلٹیز. سو اس وقت مقصد ہے کہ آپ کم از کم یہ انڈیکیٹ کریں کہ مختلف ایشوز کیسے ڈسکس ہوں گے. تو ہم یہ پھر اگر گئے تو یہ تو پوچھیں گے ان سے, کیونکہ یا تو آپ اوفا کا وہ جو میجر سینٹینس جس کو میں نے کہا دیٹ از دا موسٹ امپورٹنٹ سینٹینس, اس کو اگنور کر رہے ہیں تو الگ بات ہے, لیکن فراز دیٹ از دا کی, بیکاز ڈیوریبل پیس وہیں سے آتی. باقی تو انٹرم ڈیسیجن تھے کہ فشرمین ریلیز کریں, ریلیجیس ٹورزم کو بہتر کریں اور ایل او سی کو بہتر کریں, لیکن وہ سینٹینس جو ہے وہ ہمارے لیے سب سے امپورٹنٹ آئٹم ہے. اس کا کہ پیس اینڈ سیکورٹی آنی ہے, اس کے لیے ضروری ہے کہ سب ایشوز پہ بات چیت ہو. تو اگر ہم ماڈیلٹیز اس لیول پہ ڈسکس نہیں کریں گے تو پھر کہاں کریں گے. تو ٹو دیٹ, اور یہ بھی ہے وہاں پہ اور بھی میٹنگیں ہو سکتی ہیں, ضروری نہیں کہ این ایس سی کی میٹنگ میں ساری باتیں ہوں, لیکن یہ امپورٹنٹ ہے کہ ہم یہ ان کو پوچھیں کہ یہ سارے ایشوز کس طرح ڈسکس ہوں گے.
Sir, this is Isa Naqvi from Dunia TV. Sir, saying that if you are not going to India, then you will hand over these 3 dossiers related to Raw's involvement in Pakistan to Mr. Ajit Doval in New York next month. Does this mean that Pakistan is proposing another meeting? Instead of this meeting, we can have a meeting in New York, and in case India agrees to that meeting, will our High Commissioner Abdul Basit hold meeting with the APHC leadership before that meeting? Thank you.
دیکھیں نا جی, پہلا سوال تو it's obvious that if doesn't happen, we'll use that opportunity, because the purpose is that they think that terrorism is only Pakistan issue that they want to highlight. We have our own sort of version on that, and we have therefore prepared dossiers of India's Raw's involvement, and obviously they'll be shared with the UN also. اس کے ساتھ جو دوسرا ایشو ہے, دیٹ از ناٹ کنیکٹڈ ٹو نیو یارک, دیٹ از کنیکٹڈ ٹو ڈیلی. وین ایور وی گو ٹو ڈیلی وی میٹ دوز لیڈرز, وی کانٹ انوائٹ دیم ٹو نیو یارک. جی
مسٹر صالح صاحب.
Thank you, Ji. Saleh Dhafir, Jung Group. So, Taj Sahab, since your visit has been called off, I wish to know what is the way forward from Pakistan's point of view. What are the chances of meeting between 2 prime ministers when they will be together next month in New York? And what scope do you see a meeting which was agreed in UFA between the DGMOs and border security chiefs? Thank you.
میں نے پہلے بھی کہہ دیا تھا کہ cancellation is not yet confirmed from their side, so we can't treat it as cancelled. We are still ready to go as scheduled. Yes, without conditions. The second part is what next. That I think depends on what happens next, and it's too early to say whether the 2 prime ministers will meet. The third point is important. The two there were 2 meetings, Border Security Forces and our Rangers. That meeting is scheduled for the 6th of September. They have had a preliminary meeting to decide the agenda, and that meeting will take place. The DGMOs are in any case in touch on a weekly basis, and if the 2 national security advisors meet, they'll also discuss this subject, how to bring down tranquility. So that part of the agenda is certainly, whether the meeting between NSAs take place or not, that part of the agenda must be pursued, because we do want to restore tranquility to the line of control. Innocent civilians are dying in large number in the last few months. 70 violations in the last 1 month, and 100 something in 2 months. So the escalation is very worrisome. So we do want to address that issue.
Javed Rana from Press TV. My question is, what is your assessment? It appears that India simply doesn't want to discuss Kashmir dispute. What do you think are the reasons Indians are reluctant to discuss this core dispute?
Well, I think that is easily for us, of course. We have already stated that no serious dialogue with India is possible when we come to the broader issues unless Kashmir is on the agenda, because that is the core issue, and I have again repeated that in my statement today. So I think this is a reality that India has to recognize, and this is not something that only we are demanding. The United Nations in its several resolution has given this right to the Kashmiris to determine their own future through some kind of a plebiscite or ascertainment. And so nobody can deny them this right, and therefore we are giving them all the moral, diplomatic and political support for this purpose. And I think India cannot wish away that this is not an issue. If Kashmir is not an issue, why do they need 700,000 troops in Kashmir? Why are the Kashmiris all the time fighting for their right of self-determination? And every week, every 10 days, the number of arrests and human rights violations that are taking place. So obviously, it's an issue that is a live and real issue, and India has to find ways and means of addressing it.
Nicole Johnston, Al Jazeera. Could you just update us on the latest that's happening at the line of control? How many people we have displaced, what the government is trying to do to help people there at the moment?
I think, can you answer?
Well, the line of control and working boundary have been witnessing continuous ceasefire violations from the Indian side. It is unfortunate that in the past 2 months, more than 100 ceasefire violations have taken place, resulting in many casualties on Pakistani side. And we had to call in the Indian Deputy High Commissioner about 6 times in the past 3 weeks, only to bring home the point that it is so important to maintain peace and tranquility on the line of control. For Pakistan's part, we have been constantly emphasizing that all these mechanisms that we have created, sector commander meetings, flag meetings, DGMOs, and even when we were going for the NSA level talks, we certainly wanted to raise this issue that perhaps some kind of delegation, composite delegation level talks exclusively on this issue should also meet with participation of political side and also military side. Because for us, it is extremely important that the lives, the precious lives of the people and the communities living along the line of control and working boundaries, efforts are made for their safety and security. We do hope that Indians would listen to this and would not fire. Our forces are under strict instructions to fire only and only in self-defense and never to initiate the fire.
May I ask? Thank you, sir. So this is Abid Khurshid from ATV. Sataj Sahab, I have a very simple academic question and a very pertinent question. Sir, for last 2 or 3 months, there's a tension between Pakistan and Afghanistan, and you know much better. And there is an alliance between UAE and Pakistan, very staunch friend, UAE and India. Now Pakistan and India are at daggers drawn, and the tension on LOC. So where is, do you think that our foreign policy is so much strong, and what does it show? So my second question, sir, your dossier about involvement of RAWs in Pakistan's territory. So what does detail of this? Is this about MQM, FATA, or what else? May I guess, sir, please?
Well, these dossiers detail will be released in due course whenever the time comes. At this time, I'm not in a position to share them. Your first point, I think, is a bit hypothetical. There have been some sort of strains with Afghanistan, but they are related to the incidents that happened there. Basically, there is nothing, and there is no enmity. Our relationship with the GCC countries are still very friendly and very good. So I think your assumptions, I think, are not correct, and this is not the occasion to go into details, but I think you need to re-evaluate your assumption. Ji.
سر خواجہ نیر اقبال کشمیر پوسٹ. سر بھارت کی جانب سے جو صورتحال پیدا کی گئی ہے, کیا پاکستان یہ محسوس کرتا ہے کہ بھارت پھر کسی نئی مہم جوئی کا ارادہ رکھتا ہے پاکستان کے خلاف؟ تھینک یو.
یہ کہنا مشکل ہے, لیکن ظاہر ہے کہ وہ پاکستان کو ایک لحاظ سے دباؤ میں تو رکھ رہا ہے, اور وہ بنیادی جب سے مودی صاحب آئے ہیں ان کی پالیسی اسی قسم کی ہے کہ وہ نارملائزیشن اگر پاکستان سے کرنا چاہتے ہیں تو اپنے ٹرمز پہ کرنا چاہتے ہیں, اور ان ٹرمز میں میرا خیال ہے سب سے اہم نقطہ یہی ہے کہ جی کشمیر کے بارے میں بات نہ کریں, یا اس کو بھول جائیں, یا اس کو ڈی ایمفیسائز کریں. اور یہ ظاہر ہے کہ ہمارے لیے ممکن نہیں ہے, کیونکہ کشمیریوں کا جو حق ہے وہ صرف ہم ان سے ڈینائی نہیں کر سکتے، اقوام متحدہ نے ان کو دیا، اور ہمارے تمام قوم کی جذبات یہی ہیں کہ ہمیں ان کی بھرپور مدد کرنی چاہیے. تو اس لیے میرا خیال یہی ہے کہ ہندوستان کو بہت جلدی احساس ہو جائے گا کہ ان کا یہ جو ارادہ ہے کہ اپنے ٹرمز پر اور کشمیر کو فراموش کر کے کوئی نہ کوئی نارملائزیشن پر بڑھا جائے، وہ ممکن نہیں ہے. Last two questions.
Last two questions.
Sir, my name is Kausaladi from Prime News. Sir, why Foreign Office didn't react on joint communique between UAE and India during the visit of Indian Prime Minister to Abu Dhabi, especially when there was the direct or indirect reference to terrorism?
I think there was no such thing. I think the reference at that time, the situation was to Yemen and not to Pakistan. But the media tried to project it differently. I don't think there is anything major to which we should have reacted.
Mr. Javed Siddique.
Sartaj Sahab, the Indian media is claiming that Indian High Commissioner came to the Foreign Office in Islamabad and conveyed a message to you or the Foreign Office with regard to NSA meeting scheduled for tomorrow. Can you share this with that, or is this report baseless?
No, you see, the sequence, as I think the Foreign Secretary has already can point out, there was a note which was given when we gave them a reply that the date is acceptable, 23rd, 24th, and we shared with them a proposed agenda. Then they came back and said the agenda is not fully in line with UFA, and therefore they asked for clarification. Then at that time, the Foreign Secretary again shared another statement with them, and the last statement was not delivered here. This was the statement that the official spokesman delivered in Delhi yesterday, and that was then brought here as a copy, although we had a copy from the web anyway, and so there has been no new message after that. No new message after that.
میرا نام انور عباس ہے، وقت نیوز سے میں ہوں. سر مجھے آپ سے صرف یہ جاننا ہے کہ اگر مذاکرات معطل رہتے ہیں یا وہ آج تک آفر نہیں کرتے آج شام تک، تو ہماری فیوچر اسٹریٹجی کیا ہوگی؟ ہم کون کون سے فورمز پہ یہ معاملات اٹھائیں گے یو این کے علاوہ؟ اور سر یہ ڈوسیئرز اگر آپ کیمراز کو دکھا دیں، وہ کیپچر کر لیں گے، تھوڑا سا نا فلیش کر دیں.
ہاں جی دکھا دیتا ہوں. دیکھیں نا جی، یہ تو کوئی ایسی بات نہیں ہے. ہمارا تو پہلے بھی پورا سال میں کوئی ڈائلاگ نہیں ہوا تھا. اوفا میں جب ہوا تو یہی تھا کہ آئس بریکنگ تھا اور کوئی عمل شروع ہو گیا. اگر وہ پھر سسپینڈ کرتے ہیں تو ویل گو آن ایز وی ور بیفور. تو ہمارا تو، اور ظاہر ہے کہ اس پہ جو ہمارا موقف ہے کشمیر کے حوالے سے لاسٹ ٹائم بھی ہائی لائٹ کیا تھا، مزید بھی کریں گے، ہیومن رائٹس کونسل میں بھی کریں گے، جنرل اسمبلی میں بھی کریں گے. سو وہ تو ہماری پالیسی جو ہے وہ ویسی بدستور رہے گی، بلکہ اب میرا خیال ہے ضرورت اس چیز کی ہے کہ اس کو زیادہ ہائی لائٹ کیا جائے کہ کشمیر کے اندر جو سچویشن ہے اس میں کافی بنیادی تبدیلی آ رہی ہے، اور وہاں پہ جو کشمیری فریڈم فائٹرز یا ان کے جو سیلف ڈٹرمنیشن کے مہم ہے اس میں کافی تیزی آ رہی. بس جی، تھینک یو.
Thank you.